Hello, welcome to Weekly Insight, 7th of April 2017. It's a Monday. I'm feeling pretty good today for a Monday, actually. Yeah, all's good in the world. Lots going on. I'm actually just back from another weekend away to Madrid. I like to keep it liquid, like to go to different countries, see different people, have a good time. It's all part of learning, life's rich experience. The desktop, as usual, I put a silly photo on the desktop there. This one is actually at Gatwick Airport, and yeah, it's all about not all about, that's literally me working as an employee. I just think it's wicked these days how you can have these, remote tools, and it's not just for, where I'm trying to get to, or where I'm slowly moving to, where I can kind of work from anywhere at any time on like my business stuff. There'll be more on that at some point, but also, I'm actually in the business of selling these tools. Like in my day job, I'm a Microsoft Office 365 consultant specializing in SharePoint. But you have all these tools which enable you to be able to work anywhere. So I'd finished work for the day. I was going through Gatwick to fly out Friday afternoon, and I had a call with a colleague, and he said, could I update him? Could I send him an email on something? I was like, sure, no problem. So I just literally got the laptop out, tethered it to my phone, and before you knew it, there's Outlook spinning up, and we were off and away. Email done. Happy days on the weekend. So yeah, it's all there, man. This is really exciting at the moment. As I say, I'm literally selling these tools to organisations, and I'm just seeing it more and more as as I progress this. And it's actually really interesting that I've ended up like with my day job, and I'm really kind of massively into it with like 4-hour work week and all the rest of it. In my kind of personal life, my entrepreneur life, if you like, or whatever I'm learning there. So I've got lots to cover today. I mentioned remote working. I've looked at a whole list of stuff here, which we're going to go through. Just trying to make it a bit more exciting, really. One point I had, sorry, you probably read the agenda. So one thing that I had was why I'm back into runners. And I read, where are we now? Sorry for the crap all over my room. It's so standard, man. So trend commandments as recommended by a good pal of mine from my trading group, Alex. So trend commandments there's trend commandments. Woo! I haven't read a trading book in ages. I think that my mindset's all right with trading actually, but it was just good to, the biggest thing I got out of this book was just the concept of not taking profit off the table. I don't mean like not locking in profit or ever taking profit off the table, but it had traders in there. The biggest value I got was from the end of it, and it had traders in there which were basically talking about. Sorry, I'm just seeing how much of me you can see because I got really crappy tracksuit bottoms on at the moment. Sorry, I was saying, by not limiting your profits. So if you let things run, the traders in there were like, that's where they really make all their money, because they just get on a trend and they just kind of exploit it and run with it and run with it and run with it and run with it. And it just logically makes so much sense, right? I mean, you've just got to get behind that runner. So that kind of restored my faith in what's been going on, because I think the markets have been in a lot of turmoil recently, and that's been carving me up, and the only way out of that at the moment appears to be, you either look for runners on a lower time frame, or you are going to, you're not going to get out of it. So you've got to take profit off the table, with limits and stuff. So yeah, it was an interesting read. So that's that. So I'm fully behind runners, and I think the real way to do it, I was talking about this with Virgil, I maybe even mentioned this last week, but I was talking about this with Virgil, who, the Wolfie. I think it's potentially about, you get some money behind your position, you split it in two. I mean, I've been doing this for a while, as you've seen. You take profit with one and the other one run. Fine, makes sense. Now, what's really interesting is that I've actually just started using a new strategy recently, which again comes from the trading circle I'm a member of, and they've back tested and what have you. And that's also based around a very similar philosophy of taking some money off the table and letting it run. So the idea being that you get the trade up, you bank some profit so that it's no risk, and then you're not really worrying about that runner. It takes a bit of emotion out of it, which I think is wicked. And they've been back testing it, and it looks really good. I've only just started trading it, but what's also massively fascinating with it is that it's really, 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 really similar to how I used to trade in the old days. A few years ago. So I feel quite comfortable with it. And, recently most of the trades have been looking for, they're kind of, what do you call them? Controversial trades, counter trend trading. I don't know why I can't think of the word, but, I'm effectively looking for when it changes and then where the trend ends and then runs the other way. Whereas this is very much like you've got an established trend and you're trying to grab hold of it. So, that combined with the book, it's put me in quite a good mindset actually as to what I'm going to do. Now, this new strategy that they've come up with, it's based more on the 4-hour charts. I'll show you one of the positions. I won't go through it, obviously, because that's their business. But, yeah, I just wanted to explain that that's now what I'm doing. So there's been a bit of a pivot in kind of dropping down to a lower time frame and really looking to capitalize on trends which are already established and kind of just joining them and running along with the train, if you like. So that's that. What else have I knocked down here again? Yeah, equities at the moment. We'll go through my open trades in a minute, but equities at the moment. Yeah, I'm getting. I don't know if this means anything, but I'm just looking at it. So I'm seeing I'm seeing things. I'm seeing kind of conflicting things. Like we'll come back to this trade in a minute, but like the the US 30 massively bull, right? That thing isn't slowing down at the moment. Um, we hope to capitalise on that. UK 100 high. Sorry, you can't see that. There we go. High. But if you start looking, I think it was the DAX I was looking at. That's starting to look, that's actually in a downtrend now, really. Sorry, I keep doing that. That's why I split the screen so that I don't end up sticking it under the camera. I hope that's recording okay. Looks like we're good. Yeah, so that's actually in a downtrend. That's worth starting to look at kind of shorts. You can see there's some support and resistance there. It's just fallen off of that around this zone here. So yeah, you could argue that's worth a short. I'm not, with the right strategy, obviously. I think the Aussie 200 was looking, yeah, that's just kind of churning sideways. So it's interesting. Europe's kind of actually. Whilst we're here, why don't we look at France? How are they looking? Yeah, that's downtrending, and presumably Spain is as well. So yeah, I just find it fascinating because the US is in such a massive bull. UK is kind of dragging along with it. We're obviously without getting into fundamentals, we've obviously got this whole Brexit thing going on, but the markets are loving all of it. Whereas the Europe's starting to sell off. Now I don't really get into fundamentals, but yeah, it's fascinating. It's annoying because I've got shorts on the FTSE 100 through SUK2 ETFs, which is a bit shite really. Anyway, so that's that. I just wanted to say that because you've got usually they kind of coincide, Europe and okay, what's Jappy doing? That's another one. Usually they're kind of all doing the same thing, but yeah, that's flat as well. So you've got Aussie and Japan kind of going sideways, UK and US going up, and Europe going down. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on there. What else can I tell you about? Slippage. Oh my God. So I've been on the phone to my broker. No, actually not the phone, the other one. The email, the messenger, live chat, all the same thing these days, isn't it? So I got slipped on this. Let me get this chart over. This is 2-hour chart here. I swear. So I don't know how this is ever, I haven't seen this before, but I got out of the market here. I was stopped, right? Now this must just be my lack of understanding. So say this is my stop here as I've drawn, and it was literally like that. So I'd got in here on a short. Let's make that green. I'd shorted there on my 2-hour chart, looking nice. Pulled back to here, and now it's sold off, right? And I got pipped out there, lost the trade, obviously. Now I'd actually done all of this. That's what I want you to know, right? So it looked like that. Sorry, apologies. That's what it looked like. Okay. So I'd flicked between these two, and I'd noticed it was, it was maybe a bit closer, sort of like there on the market, yeah. But I hadn't hit it. So I get in this conversation with the guy at FXCM. Yeah, and he just basically said, well, yeah, that's because of volatility. I think that was non-farm payrolls. Anyway, let's not worry about what it was. It's some news event. So he's giving it to me all the liquidity thing, market spike and all of that. And he's down on the 1-minute chart doing all that. And I was kind of saying, yeah, but surely if that's where I got filled, then that was where the market went to. But yeah, I suppose I get his point. I don't like his point. But he was saying that the market hadn't got there. But they couldn't fill my order at that market price, which had gone through. My stop was there, but they couldn't fill me at that. So they filled me 7 pips out, which has nothing to do with the painting on the chart. So I thought that was a bit like, I get it, but it also I actually thought that your spikes are representative of what people were getting filled at, not that you could then get slipped. I guess, I don't know how after 3 or 4 years of looking into this stuff, and I have looked into this a lot. I haven't found that out or haven't come across this before. But there you go. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that slippage exists. I just thought that the spike was including the slippage. Anyway, so he told me to sod off. I mean, it was only 20 quid, 0.2%, but it still grinds my gears. So I'm going to work with that. Sorry, the reason it grinds my gears is, and I'm not going to get angry about it, other than just saying it grinds my gears, which I guess is going to be angry about it. But it's like that effectively gives them a license to print money. If they can get away with a circle like that, a gap like that, then they can get away with a gap like that, and a gap like that. So I mean, yeah. I mean, eventually, of course, they'll lose customers to their competitors, but I just didn't like it very, very much, which kind of got on my nerves. But anyway, that's it. C'est la vie. I'll watch my stops. Now, that brings me on to another point here. I have been right, in quotes, right, so I've got my notes over here. I've been right, in quotes, so many times this year, and I've been pipped out, stopped out, whipped out, and well, here's one now, silver. I'd be in profit now. CAD Swiss, I think, was another one. I'm just saying that I've tried to tell myself, and this is where it's difficult being trading, that I'm not actually doing too bad. It's just that, I don't want to sound lucky, but I've been unfortunate with was it this one? With the the way things have executed. So I've got this buy here and a limit up here, right? And that's because of the support and resistance. Now this limit is representative of where I shorted. So I think I probably shorted on the number there. So I shorted there, and I'm out again about there, and then the market's going straight south. So I like the idea of support and resistance trade. They look really easy, but the actual execution of them is really tough. Because, where do you put your stop? Okay, it now looks like I should have put my stop there, but the minute I start doing that, you see, I'm ruining my triple R. So it's difficult. So I'm now wondering if I need to wait for signals and that. But as I said, I'm personally really back onto the concept of runners. I started trading support and resistance because everything was just kind of not doing so well, and now support and resistance is working for me. But you're just not ever going to get, I don't think you're ever going to get as much, there's just not as much potential, because in fact, in theory, the potential of a runner it's infinite in theory. I mean, obviously things are unlikely to do that, but in theory, you could just keep going up, just like house prices, don't even start. So that's that. So what have I talked about? Slippage on slip, being right. So yeah, I mean, I'm just sharing my journey with you. My numbers are horrendous. I personally think, my mindset's better than my numbers. I personally think that I read markets okay. It just must be my execution. I mean, the numbers don't lie, so it must be the execution. So, I'm constantly building up this database. I'm now going to do these monthly reviews of my trades as they close out. I haven't been able to do June's yet, nor July's, and that's because I've still got trades open from those months. So, I'm looking at this June trade now. So on the 29th of June, I had a trade. So I will go back, when that closes out, I'll go back and I'll do a little video. I don't know, I might put it on one of these weekly insights, or I might do a separate one. But yeah, and I'm just going to go back and I'm going to look at what the trades did and how I thought they'd go, and then actually what's happened. And I have a feeling I'm going to see a lot of, I was just unfortunate. But anyway, we'll deal with that when we get there. Okay, so new strategy is... as I say, I'm not going to go through it because it is their IP, but it's just basically, sticking with a trend. Okay, so you can stay here, see here, and I like this, as I say, because I used to do this. So you can see this market's trending away here, trending, and it's just kind of jumping on that on a lower time frame. They use it on the 4 hours. So you can see here, I've got one in here. I'm 93 pips up here, and I've already closed out one position, which means it's risk-free from here. So yeah, I'm just ticking along really. No, it's more than risk free because my stop's now been moved up. So I've already banked 0.1% and I've got that. So I'm up 0.2% minimum unless I get slip, which I will. And you can see here, I've just put another order in here with the same thing. So there's two trades here. One will hit the limit, one won't. So I mean, this, as I say, this is just so similar to how I used to trade. So it's actually quite refreshing to, it feels, I'm kind of like, back then I kind of, maybe I did know what I was doing, and okay, I've learned so much more in the last 2 years about kind of mindset and, how to deal with stuff emotionally and all that, but it feels all right, and here's another thing. which I know I'm doing wrong in my trading, and this is key. But what you've got to realise is I've got a lot of crap going on at the moment, right? I'm trying to travel the world a lot. I'm trying to set up business. I'm trying to just cram as many books in. And whilst I love doing these videos for you guys, I've put business and that learning that stuff ahead of trading, which means I've already got the amount of time I invest in trading. I'm not going to invest any more in it. So I do these videos every week. I make sure I journal. I do, and I do my trade analysis. But I'm not aiming to try and push things anymore on the trading. So this is where I'm going to say my number one flaw that I have currently with my trading is I'm not back testing my own strategies. Yeah. So I'm trading these things and I'm effectively trading them blind. And I'll be honest, I know that screws with my mind and screws with, various other things. Well, no, it doesn't. It just screws with my mind, which in turn, can make me doubt a lot more when trading's not working. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. I trust the guys that, I'm trading with. Which is great, and they're my support group. But really, I'm my own trader. I should be testing all of this, and I know it. I'm just not doing it. So there you go. Slap on the wrist, Phil. So anyway, I lay my cards down on that one. Yeah, so that's new strategy. So let's just have a look at positions I've got open. We'll do the usual bit now. So I have got a few. Woo! What does that even mean? Sorry, the screen just went blank. Not sure if you said that. So I got a few things open. Already mentioned US 30, so that's this trade continuation thing. Be lovely if this just carries on. Apart from anything, it'd be nice to make some money out of equity markets because I've been shorting them so long that it's just making me sad, really. And I've also got doubt in my mind as to whether I should just sell them all off because I am almost stuck in that mental thing of I just hang. I mean, it was an investment. It wasn't a trade, so it's an investment, a short investment. But I'm now almost just being that bitter investor, hanging on to it where it's going bad. So, yeah, maybe I need to learn. But these are all points. This is why I'm sharing it all with you. Oh yeah, something else I can talk about. Let me write this down. Cryptos. Yeah, we'll come back to that. Yeah, so that's away and running. So currently it's risk-free. As soon as we clip into the next position, assuming we do, it won't be risk-free, but we'll see where the market takes us. What else have I got? So XAG USD, that's closed. I don't know why that's on there. I've closed that already, so we can ignore that. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 trades open. CAD Jappy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, I'll just do them off the screen. I need to go and update that, so apologies. Let's hop back onto the dailies and we will go to CAD Jappy. Now, CAD Jappy was another example of where I was, quote, right, but the market didn't go for what I wanted. So if you look back at some of my trades, you'll see that, I'm just drawing lines everywhere. I continually was short. Oh, bloody hell, give me a break. I was shorting around here quite a bit and my stop just wasn't wide enough. I kept getting clipped out until eventually, guess what, I gave up and just went, nah, I'm not shorting it anymore, and then it sells off. Amazing how often the markets can do that to you. But I have got in here again, and the key play here was the fact it was basically kind of support and resistance play, so shorting off of this support resistance level rather here down to here, so I've got like a 5R trade on there almost. And then I've got another position, which is going to be my runner. So that's why you can see that my stops are in different positions. One I'm just going to leave, and then this one I'm kind of bringing down and trailing as I go. Okay, so yeah, that trade is doing okay. GBP Jappy, now that's another short on, long against the yen. GBP yen, JPY, isn't it? Is that right? Yep. So this was a support and resistance trade. I can't remember if I got this from the group, but it's rather obvious, the sort of support level here. Reasonable stop, and just let it run out. And, hope, luck, good fortune. I'll get nearly 5R, is that? Yeah, almost 5, 6R there, if it gets down there. Big if, this has been the thing. But, that's running okay now. We're 350 pips up. How many more we got to go? We are 350 pips up. Sorry, mouse is playing out. 400 to go. So, yeah, 2/3, a little bit more there. So that's doing that. What else have I got? USD Swiss. Now, this is the sucker that is has been open for ages. Let's make another note of that actually, because there's a key point here, which is rollover. So let's have a look at this one. This was it's not the best trade in the world. The market's a bit scrappy, but if I look at it on the weekly here, you can see, I mentioned this a number of times. It keeps getting rejected, so I just thought, long over here and we're all good. Now this is one where my stop has so far worked out. It looks like it came really close to my stop and then it has reversed. And I'm just trying to get up to this level up here. So that's 0.22 for 0.69. So 2207, about 3.5, nearer 3 to 1. So not the best odds on it. But what's really interesting over here, let's bring this screen over for you. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. It might not be that well clear. But if you look at the trade at the bottom here, I've actually got 2.27 in rollover. So this has been open for a month. And okay, this, I'm not exactly going to retire on it, but it's quite nice, because that's £27 up now. With the rollover, it's basically £30 up right now. So obviously every day it ticks over, I get a few extra P. It does add up. It's worth noting there. So that's your rollover when it's favourable. Obviously I've got this one here, US 30. My rollover is eating against me. So hurry up US, get up there, and we'll worry about the roll later because it eats you up. But it's just worth. Well, I suppose another way to look at it is my rollover is kind of offsetting each other. So I'm only down 125 across the lot. GBP is quite interesting actually on rollover, isn't it? Anyway, there's that. So that was that one. What else was I going to say? That's all my open trades. God knows what's happened with my open trade review here. I'll change that. I've got plenty of notes on other things which are setting up. I won't go into it though because we're already on 20 minutes, and I'd be surprised if everyone's made it this far anyway. But yeah, keep an eye on the news which is coming up. We've got New Zealand stuff on Wednesday. Not loads of stuff around. Some more Aussie stuff. Not much until latter week. Just use that to be careful. Perhaps don't put your orders in just before a news announcement on it. But that's it for me. I will leave it there. I'd love it if you gave it a thumbs up or made a comment. I know there's a couple of you that definitely do watch it. I don't know. I don't know if more people will ever watch it, but hell, if I make this thing into a massive successful thing, everyone on the internet's going to be watching it. So there you go. Have fun, be happy, live the dream. Give it a thumbs up. Love you.